Jenny Jaguar is back at the Leopards News Network anchor desk. Lots of leopards have called out. Apparently, there is an abundance of faces to be eaten. Tons of stories to get to. Let's get to our daily dose of cope. This story made me smile immensely. This man named John Basham, a MAGA supporter, said, "We need your help." He says, "Attention, please help," in all caps, to POTUS, Donald Trump, and Senator Ted Cruz. He tagged Trump and Ted Cruz. He says, "My wife is a nurse and was recently hired by the VA. Our home is packed up. We have a new home, have spent thousands to move our family from Fort Worth to Waco. Following Trump's hiring freeze, VA rescinded her job offer. My wife is in tears and inconsolable, and my family is devastated. It has been my wife's dream to work with the needy disabled veterans. I'm a disabled vet. Now our family is lost with no clear path of what to do. Her job was to start in 2 weeks, right after we settle in. We are all huge Trump supporters, and I know this was an unintended consequence. I'm sure veterans medical care professionals were not the target of this EO. Please help me get this message to the White House so the president can fix this error. Veterans need not be affected because of out of control government spending elsewhere. Please help retweet this to the real Donald Trump is made aware. He was supposed to hurt those people. He's hurting me, my wife. We're Trump supporters. She's inconsolable. And, and this is what you voted for. This is what you deserve. You deserve to be out of thousands of dollars. You deserve to feel this like the rest of the people that you thought were going to be harmed with it. I simply relish in these tears. I relish in her tears. I drink them up like they're coming out of my Stanley cup. She deserves this, and so do you, John Basham. I Dream in Word says, everyone else in other government branches affected by hiring freezes and layoffs, but the veterans shouldn't be affected because I'm a veteran. My wife was going to help. We're MAGA voters. Help us. Sordid Hobo says, unforeseen consequences. This is exactly the result he was going for. Shank says, yes, the unforeseen consequences of a 900 plus page mandate outlining every consequence. Pity. Mir Jeek says, it's unforeseen because I didn't read past page 0.3. Leverjack says he couldn't have possibly meant me when he said he was going to eat everyone's faces. And then MagTax posted this saying that this is the average leopard for the next 4 years. And Hobbs Mitch says, it still seems a bit small. Yeah, these poor leopards. These poor leopards. I bet you the lions and the tigers are going to have to get involved. These types of posts bring out the sun on a cloudy day. So this is a conservative, a low-income conservative saying, as someone on Medicaid, am I screwed? I honestly hope that you are screwed, but let's look at the post. This person says, I am low income and am on Medicaid. My liberal family keeps giving me a hard time about voting for Trump because now I'm not going to be able to afford my medication, and that I'm ignorant for voting for someone that wants to decrease the Medicaid budget since I rely on it heavily. I wonder why it's rely in quotes. Please help me out here, folks. What's the reality here? What's wild is someone that's low income and on Medicaid and relying on it heavily. And like, why would you be a conservative and vote for Trump? I just don't understand how this math works. I don't understand MAGA math. MAGA math is like dumb math. Some of the comments. Actual Wizard says they never learn. It's the same thing over and over again. It will be the same thing next election cycle too. We'll all be sitting here scratching our heads wondering what happened. They don't learn. They don't. A and J says, yep, if there's another election in 4 years, even if Trump makes everyone's lives miserable and makes it clear that he's an old con artist that played them, the next conservative candidate will still have close to 50% of the vote. This country is hopeless. Some people just refuse to admit wrong or change. This person says, this is all Obama's fault. Let's bring it back to the source, the root of the problem, Obama. A and J says, yes, and how dare a black man win the presidency and try to give everyone health care? He caused all the racism that disappeared to come right back. Thanks, Obama. Damaku says, we just got to come to terms with the fact that America is filled with idiots. I mean, there's idiots all over the world, but ours are especially dangerous because one of the two major parties caters to them. Daz Noob at the bottom says the only thing that will help is if Trump offs the GOP's base. Ooh, well, the GOP is old. The GOP is old, and yeah, so we'll see how that works out for us. So the title of this is Maybe He's the Wrong Guy to Ask for Help, because this person whose name is blocked out sent a message to the real Donald Trump saying, please help. The federal hiring freeze is causing my boyfriend to no longer have a job. The offer was accepted prior to the executive order, but they are rescinding his offer. We are about to be homeless with a 4-month-old little girl. We need your help. This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. So this is what you deserve. So find some bootstraps, create some bootstraps, and then pull yourself up by them. Pull yourself up, because this is what you all voted for. You just thought that other people would be impacted, but now you are. So you better go build a house somewhere. You better go find some money somewhere, because he's sitting up here laying people off, rescinding job offers left and right. And you think that you're special? You're absolutely not special. So this dude, Andrew Huberman, apparently he is like a wellness bro, like a podcast bro. He's big time. I didn't learn about him until last year. But he says, I am told that the NIH grant review panel dates, these are always scheduled 3 to 6 months ahead, are getting canceled left and right. No pun. Does anyone know about this? And to that, Grifty Pod says, yeah, science is over, bro. Thanks to your buddies helping Trump get elected. His executive order has canceled all NIH study meetings. These boards decide which grants get funded. No reviews, no grants, no new projects equals freeze progress, devastate university research, install innovation bigly. So this dude, Andrew Huberman, like I said, he's like some grifter dude. I don't know if you all know him, but I just discovered him last year. So this is going to be bad, just like the other hiring freezes, just like the DEI layoffs and all of that. Trump hits NIH with devastating freezes on meetings, travel communications, and hiring. Researchers facing a lot of uncertainty, fear, and panic. I kind of contemplated not putting this here, but this is a good place to put this because I do know that we'll have eyeballs on these. And sometimes my news articles don't get the same amount of eyeballs. But Donald Trump's return to the White House is already having a big impact at the $47.4 billion U.S. National Institutes of Health, with the new administration imposing a wide range of restrictions, including the abrupt cancellation of meetings such as grant review panels. Officials have also ordered a communications pause, a freeze on hiring, and an indefinite ban on travel. The moves have generated extensive confusion and uncertainty at the nation's largest research agency, which has become a target for Trump's political allies. The impact of the collective executive orders and directives appear devastating, one senior NIH employee says. Today, for example, officials halted midstream a training workshop for junior scientists, called off a workshop on adolescent learning minutes before it was to begin, and canceled meetings of 2 advisory councils. Panels that were scheduled to review grant proposals also received 11th hour word that they wouldn't be meeting. This kind of disruption could have long ripple effects, says Jane Liebschutz, an opioid addiction researcher at the University of Pittsburgh, who posted on Blue Sky about the canceled study section. Even short delays will put the United States behind in research. She and colleagues are feeling a lot of uncertainty, fear, and panic. The hiring freeze is government-wide, whereas a pause on communication and travel appears to be limited to the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, the NIH's parent agency. Such pauses are not unprecedented when a new administration comes in, but some NIH staff suggested these measures, which includes pulling job ads and rescinding offers, are more extreme than any previously. NIH Travel Chief Glenda Conroy sent an email to senior agency officials early today, notifying them of an immediate and indefinite suspension of all travel throughout HHS with few exceptions, such as currently traveling employees returning home. Researchers who plan to present their work at meetings must cancel their trips, as must NIH officials promoting agency programs offsite or visiting distant branches of the agency. Future travel requests for any reason are not authorized and should not be approved, the memo said. The travel ban has left many researchers, especially younger scientists, bewildered, says senior NIH scientist who has to remain anonymous. Today, the scientists encounter one group of early career researchers who were scheduled to attend and present at a distant conference next week. Presentations that are now impossible. People are just at a loss because they also don't know what's coming next. I have never seen this level of confusion and concern in people that are extremely dedicated to their mission, the scientist says. Separately, HHS has announced communications ban through the 1st of February in a memo issued yesterday. The Washington Post and Associated Press first reported the memo's existence. It orders a stop on the publishing of regulations, guidance documents, grant announcements, social media posts, press releases, and other communication, and the canceling of speaking engagements. Any exceptions must be applied for and approved through the president's appointees. This is a short pause to allow the new team to set up a process for review and prioritization, an NIH spokesperson says. Another consequence of the communications pause is a freeze on meetings of federal advisory committees and study sections. NIH today canceled meetings of advisory councils at its dental and bioengineering institutes. The council meetings include a closed-door session where grant proposals from extramural researchers that have already been approved by peer review panels undergo a final review before the awards are made. It is not clear what will happen to those grants if the council meetings to finalize the review is canceled. Many more councils for NIH's 24 grant-making institutes and centers are scheduled to meet in the coming weeks. Even more troubling to many researchers is a pause on the study sections that many received word of today. Without such meetings, NIH cannot make research awards. Previous administrations have imposed communication pauses in their first days, and the administration of Barack Obama continued a cap on attendance at scientific meetings first imposed by the George W. Bush administration, which in some cases meant staff canceled trips to meetings. But an immediate blanket ban on travel is unusual, says one long-term researcher in the NIH's intramural program. I don't think we've ever had this, and it's pretty devastating for a postdoc or graduate student who needs to present their work and network to move ahead in their career, the researcher says. Another consequence of the communications pause, according to an NIH staffer involved with clinical trials at NIH's Clinical Center, is that agency staff cannot meet with patient groups or release newsletters or other information to recruit patients into trials. Another unknown is whether NIH researchers will still be allowed to submit papers to peer-reviewed journals. Hiring is also affected. No staff vacancies can be filled. In fact, before Trump's first day in office was over, NIH's Office of Human Resources had rescinded existing job offers to anyone whose start date was slated for the 8th of February or later. It also pulled down current posted job vacancies on USA Jobs. Please note, these tasks had to be completed in under 90 minutes and were unable to notify you in advance, the January 21st email noted, asking NIH's institutes and centers to pull down any job vacancies remaining on their own websites. The various directives have shaken the vast community of extramural scientists NIH supports. We have not seen anything concrete from NIH yet, said one scientist at a major academic medical center, but just like about everyone in science, we are worried and waiting. So that's where we are. There is so much that we will be unraveling. There's going to be a lot of things that get jacked up in this country because of these hiring freezes and Trump's implementation of whatever he sees as the vision for this country. I know that this is not the typical way that I would end the Leopards Eating Faces video, but this news has to be reported on, and there's just so much news to put somewhere. So anyways, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And I am trying to get up to 70,000 followers. So go ahead and follow me if you haven't yet.